right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
He was caught on camera dragging his neighbor's body away.
He should have been in prison.
A family's response when a murderer asked for forgiveness in court today.
Changes are happening right now across the bi-state area that will give us an early taste of autumn this weekend.
Our top story, fixer-upper frustrations.
We've been waiting and need help.
Tonight, Metro East homeowners demand answers from officials on why their check isn't in the mail. Just hours ago, it was a full house at the East St. Louis City Council meeting. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Kelly Jackson. Some residents say they have been waiting months for thousands of dollars for home repairs. New tonight, Robert Townsend tells us about the controversy brewing around the senior home rehab project.
We need to make sure all of these people in there that should have been taken care of, they get their houses fixed first.
Several dozen fired-up citizens packed the East St. Louis City Council meeting.
I'm 74 years old. I don't trust them.
Eloise Taylor, one of the many who wanted to know what's the status of a senior home repair project City Council members unanimously approved last November.
All I wanted was me some gutters and windows. That's all I wanted.
We advertise first come, first served, and that's what we should have done.
Councilman Ryan Kaysen says the council agreed to give more than 90 citizens a $12,000 grant that would help them fix up their homes. Kaysen says federal funding through the American Rescue Plan Act and state dollars were earmarked to pay for the project.
This was to help all of our citizens.
He says the city hired 2 contractors to help kick it off. It's been 9 months, and so far, the repairs have only been completed at 2 homes. And now there are allegations that someone removed the names of citizens approved for the project from a list and replaced them with the names of politicians and their friends.
I don't know all the details yet, but I just know that these people, some of these people shouldn't have been on the list at all.
The council didn't address the allegations, but did admit so far the city made missteps.
I have not been satisfied with senior rehab since day one.
So after nearly an hour, council members told residents it's not a question of if, but when the senior rehabbing program will move forward. And they promised the citizens that they will deliver. One council member told them not to worry. Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Tonight, a spokesperson for the city of East St. Louis said no one from the mayor's office or the city had any comment about seniors' concerns or the allegations surrounding the project.
Tonight, a 19-year-old is behind bars 8 months after he was charged in Clayton's first homicide in nearly 2 decades. Darian Johnson was arrested early this morning in Pine Lawn. He's charged with second-degree murder in the shooting death of Joshua Harris. He was killed back in November after confronting a group breaking into cars along Wydown Boulevard. A second man, Training Johnson, is awaiting trial on second-degree murder charges in that case.
Some closure tonight for the family of a woman killed at her St. Louis apartment complex. Her 73-year-old neighbor will now spend the next 20 years behind bars. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski is live outside the courthouse where he pleaded guilty this morning. Laura.
Kelly, Carolyn Jenkins' daughter says her and her family have been failed by so many systems for such a long time. And after this hearing today, they're finally feeling some relief on their road to closure. 63-year-old Carolyn Jenkins is described by her daughter, Carla Smith, as an amazing woman who deserved to live.
There was never a dull moment when she was around, just always bringing joy into a room.
But one day in August 2022, that joy was taken from the Jenkins family. Family members say she was going down to get her mail at her apartment complex, Metropolitan Village Apartments, when her neighbor, David Leonard Harvey, followed her back upstairs, rushed into her apartment, and stabbed her 7 times.
We called the police 3 different times. Called them to go out and do welfare checks 3 different times. How does something like this happen?
A few days later, police responding to a welfare check found the apartment in disarray and blood on the floor, but Jenkins wasn't there. 2 a.m. surveillance video showed Harvey and John Day, a man who worked at the complex, moving her body.
A security guard present while this happened took her right past her lifeless body, right past the security guard with her foot dragging the floor. How do you not see something like this?
Smith says their family was failed on so many levels. Jenkins made reports about being harassed by Harvey to police and the apartment complex. He also had a long criminal history, including a 2015 acquittal in the killing of a pregnant woman.
He should have been in prison. If he was in prison for what he did in 2015, he would not have had the opportunity to murder my mother. It's terrible.
On Thursday, he pleaded guilty to charges of second-degree murder, burglary, abandonment of a corpse, and evidence tampering. Day also pleaded guilty to charges of evidence tampering and abandonment of a corpse. Harvey asked for forgiveness in court, and family said that's between you and God. Judge Michael Noble agreed, and when he sentenced him, he said, "This is the second time you are in here for murder. What you did was destroy a family, and for the next 20 years, I hope you think of that." St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore said in a statement, his actions after the victim's death show his lack of decency. The guilty plea and sentencing cannot bring her back, but hopefully will bring closure for her family. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
The Missouri State Auditor is launching an investigation into financial issues at St. Louis Public Schools. Scott Fitzpatrick's audit will begin next week instead of next year like they originally planned. His office will conduct surveys and speak with staff to find out what their main focus should be. Fitzpatrick says his office had concerns before Mayor Tashara Jones and other local leaders reached out.
But I want to also be clear that we are here today not just to answer their call, but to answer the call of the many families who have more questions than answers when it comes to the ability of their school to provide a quality education.
The district responded saying it'll cooperate and it welcomes the decision to conduct financial and operational audits.
Tomorrow marks 10 years since a Ferguson police officer shot and killed Michael Brown. There have been many changes in Ferguson, the biggest being the city's top job. Ella Jones is the first woman and first black mayor of the city. She says politics became her calling after Brown's death. She joined the city council in 2015, ran for mayor and lost to the incumbent in 2017. In 2020, she ran again and won. Jones says since then, the police department has increased staffing and hired more black and Asian officers. But Mayor Jones says the community still needs to work on coming together and moving forward.
It's not going to never, ever get away. We're not going to never, ever forget it. It's edged here, and we have to come to a point where we embrace it. It happened, but it does not need to happen again. We've got to improve, and we've got to continue to improve in order to make this a place, continue to make this city a good place for people to live.
And you can see much more of this interview in our special Race, Listen, Learn, Live, Voices of Ferguson. It will air August 22nd at 7 p.m. The hour-long special takes a closer look at how far Ferguson has come since that day, the healing that has taken place, and the work that remains to be done.
The date has been set for a presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. The former president has agreed to debate the vice president September 10th on ABC. Trump is also challenging Harris to a Fox News debate on September 4th and on NBC News on September 25th. The vice president has not committed to those other two debates, but says she's open to additional dates. Senator Josh Hawley and his Democratic challenger Lucas Kunce continue their third straight day of debating over debates.
So far, only Kunce has accepted an offer for a statewide debate next week with 5 on Your Side and our partners at 9 PBS and the NBC station in Kansas City. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, just got back from a Hawley campaign event.
Yeah, Mike and Kelly, these two are itching for this face-off, but they just can't seem to agree to terms. As soon as Lucas Kunce won the primary Tuesday night, Josh Hawley challenged to debate him one-on-one at the Missouri State Fair Thursday with no moderators. Kunce raised the stakes and said, let's put it on TV with moderators. We saw that whole public exchange playing out and raced to put together the gear, the crews, and quickly sent out offer letters to them both. Now, our offer did include moderators as a way to keep the debate on topic and on time. Not just some free-for-all with no guarantee it would stay on track. Kunce's camp quickly agreed. Hawley's campaign would not. He then issued 2 public statements on the campaign trail reiterating no moderators. Then the Farm Bureau, a politically active group that already endorsed Hawley, offered to host that debate, and Hawley agreed to that, but Kunce has not.
In 2018, I guess, I did debates in every format, all of them chosen by Claire, by the way. So I'm happy to do, I bet we'll do multiple debates, happy to do it. But let's do the debate that's on the table now. Let's see if he will actually show up on Thursday. So far, there's only one debate that has been on the table, and he so far will not do it. It's every reason why not.
Are you declining our offer?
I'm not declining anybody's offer. I've said that I will do this debate that I have committed to on Thursday, sponsored by the Farm Bureau, open to everybody.
Hawley said there that another TV station had offered to broadcast. Now, he didn't say televise. He said broadcast with no moderators. Maybe he meant streaming online and not on air, but that station is publicly reporting the debate will be televised on our air. The Coons campaign later reached out to ask that station, hey, what's up? They said they've not agreed to broadcast anything because without moderators, it's not a TV debate.
All right, Mark. Well, the White House is responding to Congresswoman Cori Bush's concession speech. President Biden's press secretary said he condemns the inflammatory, divisive rhetoric in her call to tear AIPAC's kingdom down. Mayor Tashara Jones was on stage Tuesday night when Bush made those controversial remarks. We asked her if she agreed with the president.
AIPAC declared war on certain members of Congress, saying that they were going to put $100 million in their races to defeat them. You know, this is a broader conversation that we have to have. Is the Democratic Party okay with a large organization, a large super PAC, pushing out its members? And I think the answer would be no.
Mayor Jones said she is still friends with nominee Wesley Bell. She says she called him yesterday to congratulate him on his win over Congresswoman Bush.
A trip of a lifetime for a local dance team turns into a golden ticket to the Paris Olympics.
I saw Simone Biles, and she's very inspiring.
It's a sport that's heard crickets at the Olympics. The St. Louis native hoping to take a swing at a medal in Los Angeles. Plus, a second chance for one local Olympian, while another St. Louisan's run in Paris comes to an end without a trip to the podium.
Pumpkin spice season is almost here, and it will feel like it this weekend. We're tracking the trending autumn temperatures.
Well, breaking makes its Olympic debut tomorrow in Paris. It's a competitive form of breakdancing that blends artistry, urban dance, and acrobats. Americans Victor Montalvo and Sunny Choi are favored to medal.
Tonight, members of a local dance group are back in St. Louis after taking a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Paris. The group of 4 young ladies got to catch some of the Olympic Games in person.
What's more, their dance coach made it all possible. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon explains.
To be a part of Legacy Elite, you've got to have the right moves. Just ask City Garden Montessori 7th grader Serenity Wells Phillips.
If we don't do it right, she'll make us do it over and over and over again until we do it right.
She's talking about her beloved coach, Ari Tumlin, who created this space to give dancers a platform to blossom.
I decided I wanted to offer more to students who look like me and grew up where I grew up. So I started to expand into all-star cheerleading competition, and then just about 5 years ago, we switched over to studio competition.
Her students have ranged from 5 to 18 years old. Because they work so hard, the tough love coach had an idea. Reward a few of them with an impromptu trip to the Paris Olympics.
I was like, my first time out of the country. I'm really excited.
Especially since it's not every day you get to catch your favorites go for the gold.
I saw Simone Biles. I saw Simone, yeah. I see her on TV, but I never saw her in person, and she's very inspiring.
And don't forget the sights and sounds of the city. Serenity recalls watching the Eiffel Tower light the night sky.
I thought it was like a little smaller. It's like really big.
Just wanting to let them have that experience, know that there's more to just it being secluded to like just St. Louis. Like we can travel, we can do these things, and it's going on all around the world, not just in one place.
And with breaking now taking center stage to the world, these young people can have more motivation to see just how far their talents can take them.
Coast down south, represent your coast.
Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
Legacy Elite started in St. Louis in 2009. The coach is now expanding the dance company to Houston to give even more young people opportunities.
Love that. Well, the spirit of Paris came to Keener Plaza tonight. 5 on Your Side teamed up with the St. Louis Sports Commission for an Olympics watch party at tonight's Downtown Summer Nights event. There was food trucks, entertainment, and a big screen to watch some of the events. And Scott Connell and I were there to serve as MCs. And we were joined by Olympic gold medalist and St. Louisan Lori Kolupny.
And our chief meteorologist, Scott Connell, joins us now with that weather impact forecast. And Scott, you and Kelly could not have asked for a better night weather-wise.
Yeah, there was a moment where it started sprinkling. It's
What?
like, oh, I got to check the radar real fast. Nothing, nothing showing up on the radar. We've had a couple of little spritzes and sprinkles, but that's been about it. Lambert did pick up 1/100 of an inch, but quiet over Forest Park tonight. Talking about the green space, Keener Plaza, you go down to the Arch, you go all the way back, you go back to City Park, and you've got a lot of green space in St. Louis. A lot of big cities would love to have our green space. Look at the green on the radar map tonight. That's on the East Coast. That's what's left of Debbie. Our green is a couple of sprinkles here and there that's showing up at this point. Nothing substantial, but that's the cool front sliding through our area. And as it pushes through, it opens the door to even drier air. And yes, a bit cooler to our north and west. 64 right now in Kirksville. We're still at 75. Still have the clouds around St. Louis, but those clouds will be clearing out as we head through the overnight hours heading towards tomorrow morning. 75 right now, northwest wind at 7. Our dew point actually crept up a little bit to 67 degrees. And yes, we did pick up 1/100 of an inch at Lambert this evening. 86 was our high. We will struggle the next couple of days, in many cases, to get back above 80 degrees. Tonight, dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s north of St. Louis, mid to upper 60s south of town. Clouds breaking towards daybreak. This is the big deal here. Those dew point temperatures. This afternoon, our dew point in St. Louis was 64. Tomorrow afternoon, it's 55. Saturday afternoon, it's 53. Huge, huge difference. That's the measure of how much moisture is in the air. When it's down into the 50s, it just feels absolutely great this time of year. Really, if it stays below 65, it's tolerable for us in St. Louis. And that's going to be the case right through the weekend. Upper 70s, close to 80 tomorrow. Hour by hour forecast for your Friday. Ooh, maybe you're thinking 3-day weekend. It's bright and beautiful most of tomorrow. We go into Saturday, another bright, beautiful day. Right around 80 for the high. Sunday, clouds start to increase. Heading down towards Table Rock Lake, we will see a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. But for most areas, it's certainly dry through Friday night. We'll pick up our opportunity to see some showers and thunderstorms here by Monday into Tuesday, Wednesday, likely continuing into Thursday. That rain chance is not overly continuous. We know it's not going to rain 4 days in a row continuously, but there will be waves of moisture, and some of us, if not most of us, could end up with seeing more than an inch of rain. So enjoy this weekend. Temperatures are going to be very comfortable, and we have lots of sunshine on the way for the weekend. Then our rain chances by Monday, Mike.
All right, Scott, thanks. Well, you won't see the sport of cricket at the Paris Olympics. However, it will return to the games in Los Angeles in 2028.
And there is a good chance that St. Louisan will be leading Team USA. Corey Miller introduces us to a young woman with Olympic dreams in tonight's Practice to Podium.
Sports can take you a lot of places, both figuratively and literally. St. Louis area native Ritu Singh can attest to that.
We went to South Africa, we had the World Cup there, and then after that we had the global qualifiers in Dubai, and then I just came back from Trinidad 3 days ago.
Singh's sport is cricket, and as a key part of the U.S. women's team, she is one of the best in the country.
Ritu Singh, the spirit of St. Louis.
Like going from nobody knowing what the sport is and I have to explain it to everybody to now where people are recognizing me off the sport that I play. There's so much growth in this sport. It's growing exponentially.
Singh puts in the work too.
We try to train as many days as possible, and most of the time over the summer it's every day. And then when we train, it's a good 2.5 to 4.5 hours. And if we get outside, then we might even go to 5 hours if we can get a cricket field.
Now, with cricket in America only getting more popular and the 2028 LA Games bringing the sport back to the Olympics, Singh knows there's an opportunity on her horizon.
The fact that it's being in the U.S., that gives us the host country advantage. So it's really exciting. I mean, I remember finding out and all of us posting on our Instagram stories like, hey, now's our chance. It would mean the world to me. I mean, being an Olympian is like everybody's dream as an athlete. And I can just imagine like my heart being in the sky in that moment.
Corey Miller, 5 on Your Side Sports.
Singh is entering her freshman year at SLU, where on top of her cricket training, she is pursuing a degree in business.
Cricket was a competition at the 1900 Olympics in Paris. It was scheduled for the 1904 games here in St. Louis, but was canceled due to a lack of entrants. And now here's Frank.
It was not a great day for two St. Louis athletes at the Olympics, but it sure was for one. And all those Cardinals, we'll be right back. You know, when you win a series, you should be happy. But if you're 2 innings away from a sweep and you blow it, you just can't be. This one hurt. Dylan Carlson singled in 2 runs in the first, and the Rays got off to a good beginning. But the Cardinals took a 4-2 lead in the third on Paul Goldschmidt's single to right. Nolan Arenado scored. The good news is Victor Scott had 2 hits tonight. The bad is he couldn't quite make this remarkable catch in center field. It's a 2-run homer for Brandon Lowe. And the pride of Webster, Pete Fairbanks, came on for save number 22. Rays win it tonight, 6-4.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC continues League Cup play tomorrow against Portland. They'll be without at least one player. Midfielder Jabulo Blum has been suspended for 1 game by the team for a violation of team rules. You could see Coach John Hackworth talking with Blum at the end of Sunday's game. Here's the coach on the decision.
You know, when a player does something against our standards or rules, and there's a situation like this, the player is always welcome back, because the idea is that they learn a very valuable lesson and then come back and are even stronger. So that's my expectation with him.
That's what you call good coaching and good discipline right there.
All right, Frank, thanks. We'll be right back. We'll head back to Paris in a few minutes for sports climbing and canoeing.
Tomorrow morning at 10:30, you can watch Incarnate Word and Athesa Collier and the U.S. women's basketball team take on Australia in the semifinal. And in prime time, the first Olympic medals in breaking will be awarded.
Team USA has selected its flag bearers for the closing ceremony on Sunday. U.S. swim star Katie Ledecky and rower Nick Mead were selected. Ledecky, of course, won 4 gold medals in Paris, becoming the most decorated U.S. women's Olympian of all time. Mead was part of that team that won the first U.S. gold in rowing since the 1960 Rome Olympics.
That is awesome. And Sunday's ceremony will feature a handover to Los Angeles for the 2028 Olympics. Tom Cruise is rumored to perform a death-defying stunt a la Mission Impossible. There's also speculation either Beyonce or Taylor Swift could make a surprise performance. Of course, you can see it all here Sunday on 5 on Your Side.
And there you have it. 5 on Your Side at 10. Late Night in Paris is next.
Rennie Knott will file his last live report from Paris tomorrow on Today in St. Louis.